Pushed away, taken by Broderick. Handballs over the top to Burke. Back to Broderick. Runs into the open goal and bangs it through. Silence about the sound. Tigers have won here at the MCG in a thrilling last quarter. They have won by 12 points.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the afternoon's football. Round 2 continues from 7 tonight with Adelaide and Hawthorn live from Waverley. Stay with us now for 7 Nightly News, and we'll cross to Waverley for the latest on the Crows. I'll see you soon.
This has been a 7 Sports production.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. Now my poor heart aches with every step you take, every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay. I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you.
This is 7 Nightly News with John Riddell and Narelle Hill.
Tonight, 2 Australian aid workers missing in the Balkan war zone.
Horror stories from the Kosovo refugee camps.
And back home, a Murray River speedboat erupts in a fireball.
Good evening. Also tonight, Shane Warne dropped for the 4th test.
But first, diplomats are working furiously tonight to free 2 Australians caught up in the war in Yugoslavia. The pair, both aid workers for Care Australia, disappeared on Wednesday near Vukovar on the border between Serbia and Croatia. They were trying to make their way south to help refugees from Kosovo.
2 of our own, missing in the quagmire of the Balkan War. Aid workers Steve Pratt and Peter Wallace were last seen being questioned by Serbian border guards on Wednesday.
We are naturally extremely concerned about the safety of our staff, but we do have reason to believe that they are being detained.
The pair are professionals and highly experienced. We spoke with one just 24 hours before they disappeared.
We have to see whether we can continue to stay or perhaps even still go.
These are humanitarian aid workers who have been doing their level best. In fact, they have been doing a heroic job.
The Care Australia chiefs now heading to the region, the government also applying pressure.
We very much hope that the Yugoslav authorities, if they have detained them, will release them and release them immediately.
But efforts to secure their release have been hampered by this. NATO's blitz of Belgrade, 8 cruise missiles tearing at the heart of the city, bringing down communications, making it tough for our diplomats to get through. The targets, 2 crucial government buildings, key centres for Serb police and army operations. A hospital nearby was forced to move its entire maternity ward, but again, remarkably, no reported injuries. That despite this exercise in defiance, locals walking the streets, targets pinned to their clothes, acting as human shields. But the Serb government insists previous attacks have left victims. They arranged for TV crews to film these children in hospital today. NATO says there'll be no back down, but are there signs the resolve is weakening?
I believe we have quite a good chance of achieving our objectives of the return.
Quite a good chance? President Clinton hasn't used those words before. In fact, many experts believe Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic is winning. His aim of ethnically cleansing Kosovo almost complete. Chris Reason, 7 Nightly News.
600,000 people, 1/3 of Kosovo's population, have been forced from their homes by Serb troops and militia in the past year. Every hour, thousands are pouring out of the province to a virtual no-man's land in neighbouring Macedonia or Albania.
This small parcel of land between Kosovo and Macedonia has become a human holding pen. Tens of thousands are forced to camp in the open. There's little shelter, no sanitation. Women are going into labour on the ground. Many refugees are exhausted and desperately ill. Misery is etched on their faces. Food is scarce. People scramble for a loaf of bread. In the crush, a young boy is trampled, while the old are left to scrape the crumbs from the ground. People say they've swapped one kind of hell in Kosovo for another. They've lost everything.
It's the most humiliating thing that could happen to a human being expelled from its own land.
And still they come, herded into trains by Serb soldiers.
I remember the film about Nazis and Jewish people, how they're putting them in the trains. It was exactly the same scene.
Everyone here has their own story of horror to tell. This man fled to Albania after paramilitary troops knocked on his door in the middle of the night and gave him 5 minutes to leave, or they'd shoot his 8 months pregnant wife.
We'll kill your children, your wife, your sister in front of you, and you will watch that, and we'll leave you living with us.
Ilya Bitsai says during their long walk to the border, no one was safe from Serb troops, not even the children.
They took a child with a knife and say 5,000 German marks if you want your child to see alive again.
There are 2,000 people crammed into tents in this camp. Several thousand more are being cared for in homes around here. It's crowded, but they say they're the lucky ones. They've got a mattress to sleep on, food, and they're alive. Albania's ability to cope with the 120,000 refugees already here is stretched to the limit, but there's worse to come. It's believed the queue at the border is 18 kilometres long.
And members of Adelaide's Serb community have again taken to the city streets, presenting their perspective of the crisis. More than 300 vented their anger against the NATO air attacks during a peaceful protest march and rally in the city. Their anti-American sentiments were spelled out on signs and banners, and they condemned the Australian government for supporting the NATO action. The protesters, some wearing national dress, marched to Parliament House, burning an American flag in the process.
A horrifying accident on the River Murray has left 4 adults and a toddler in hospital with extensive burns. The 5 were enjoying a weekend of water sports at Willowbanks near Murray Bridge when their speedboat exploded in a ball of flames.
These exclusive photos, taken at the height of the drama, show the force of the blast. 3 men, a teenage girl and a 3-year-old child, were aboard the $20,000 Sportscraft ski boat when it exploded in flames. The driver had simply turned on the boat's ignition. The blast blew the inboard motor's cover off and all 5 were engulfed with flames.
A large explosion. I rushed straight out and down here, and all the parties of the boat were in the water, 5 people.
Neighbours scrambled to save the injured, who suffered burns all over their body.
Yeah, burns to the face, legs, arms, hair. 2 people that I saw dive in from here to assist those people out there, and we were just trying to grab fire extinguishers for wherever we could to help put it out. But we couldn't get too close to it for fear of the fuel tank going up.
All the injured were taken to the Murray Bridge Hospital, a Henley Beach man and his 19-year-old son, a Happy Valley man and his 3-year-old daughter, and a 19-year-old woman from Grange. It's understood they've suffered second-degree burns which are not life-threatening. It's standard practice that accidents of this nature are investigated by the state coroner. Peter Caldecott, 7 Nightly News.
And Bureau of Air Safety investigators have spent the day examining the site of yesterday's light plane crash south of Adelaide. 2 men from Perth died when their single-engine kit plane crashed into a creek bed 4 kilometres from the Aldinga airstrip. Today, investigators recovered the engine. It will be dismantled at Parafield Airport, with every component undergoing a thorough inspection. Investigators say it could be months before they lodge their final report into the accident.
Coming up, an arrest in the case of Melissa, the computer virus.
And Oakbank off to a flying start.
Sunday, they're the biggest bunch of misfits on the mother of all subs. Kelsey Grammer.
Bring forth the prisoner.
And Miss Lauren Holly. The comedy hit Down Periscope on 7.
Get cracking on the best bedroom deals at the Captain Snooze annual Easter sale. For 10 days only, you can bounce into massive savings on all Sealy, Sleepmaker and Madison beds. Jump for joy at the amazing deals on bedroom suites. Packages with the lot have taken a pounding, and kids' beds are hopping out the door. We've got Easter's best all wrapped up at the Captain Snooze annual Easter sale on now.
Another reason to choose Snooze.
Imagine we're inside the fuel system of your car. It's here,
your fuel deposits build up in your carburetor or fuel injectors. Because of that, you'll feel your car become sluggish as it loses power. But by adding Wind Spitfire to your petrol tank, you'll not only restore your car's source of power, but when it comes to fuel costs, you'll save money in a flash.
Do your car a power of good with Wind Spitfire. Available from these locations. When it wins, it works.
You get a feeling down in your soul all the time you sense that total control. I know you say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, indeed.
The 4-day Easter Art and Craft Fair is on this long weekend. You'll find original handmade craft, children's rides, refreshments and live entertainment. The 4-day Easter Art and Craft Fair, Morfordville Racecourse Function Centre, open 10 till 6 daily.
Red leather, yellow leather, leather in a whole range of breathtaking colours and styles from Natuzzi. Liqueur News now have Adelaide's largest range of world-famous Natuzzi exquisite leather furniture. The workmanship is magnificent. The styles range from classical to strikingly contemporary, and the quality is much more than skin deep. Natuzzi from Liqueur News. If you've just bought leather from someone else, you'd better sit down.
He was just 6 years old, found burnt to death in his father's house.
It's just too quick.
But this wasn't an accident. This was murder.
An accelerant had been used.
Who took this young boy's life?
He had so much potential.
Australia's Most Wanted, Monday.
A fatality-free day on the nation's roads today, with the Easter toll unchanged at 17. But that's 2 more than for the entire Easter break last year. New South Wales still tops the list with a toll of 12, thanks to a disastrous mix of torrential rain and roads packed with holiday travellers. Our state's toll remains at 2.
Overseas now, and US police believe they've found the source of the Melissa virus, the world's fastest spreading computer bug. A programmer in New Jersey has been arrested for crippling computers with endless streams of email.
You've got mail.
More mail than you could ever want, in fact, thanks to the Melissa virus. But against the odds, a worldwide hunt has found the man believed responsible for the email plague. Computer network planner David Smith was picked up at his New Jersey home.
He was arrested and charged with a second-degree offense of interfering with public communication as well as other crimes.
Police say Smith used a stolen email account to spread the virus, but he left one clue, his home phone number, which gave the authorities the trail they needed. Since it was unleashed a week ago, Melissa has forced computer users around the world to shut down their email systems. It overloads accounts by bombarding them with thousands of messages. Within days, antidotes were available on the web, but the problem is spreading faster than the cure. Copycat Melissa viruses are now being found, costing companies millions. If convicted, Smith could face 40 years in jail and $750,000 in fines. And who is Melissa? Well, police say Smith named his cyber virus after a topless dancer he knew in Florida. Jeff Bruce, 7 Nightly News.
2 jockeys are recovering in hospital tonight after bad falls in separate races at Oakbank. The incidents marred an otherwise successful day for race organisers, with a record crowd attendance for a Saturday.
First of the Easter Carnival, tremendous crowd in attendance, beautiful weather. There's the light. They're on their way this time.
Betting was furious for the first race of the day.
Here put 25 to 5.
And it couldn't have been easier with favourite Resist crossing the line at 2-to-1 odds. The Easter Carnival always attracts those with a sense of fashion.
I must say it's my first time this year, actually from Melbourne, and we've come up especially for it.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, we're having a great day. We've got 2 winners already.
Others come just for the fun.
It's a total family atmosphere, it's great.
With absolutely perfect weather conditions, there's every possibility the Oakbank Saturday record attendance of 44,000 will be broken. And it was, with 1,730 more than the previous record set in 1995. Organisers are hoping for a repeat performance from the crowd for Monday's Great Eastern Steeplechase. Peter Caldecott, 7 Nightly News.
Bruce joins us with Saturday Sport. Did you pick any winners today at Oakbank?
Well, there were some races amongst all that social activity, and yes, my horse is still running. We'll have the highlights after the break. We'll also cross live to Waverley for the latest on the Crows, some big names out of the fourth test, and the 36ers one step closer to another title.
David Stiff beats Daniel Mikatelli. When they win, it's party time. When they lose,
Just messes up your weekend.
can the Crows go to Waverley and make it a long weekend to remember? See it live on 7, the Crows and Hawthorn tonight, and see a smile back on Malcolm's face.
This makes you feel terrible.
You get a feeling down in your soul all the time you sense that total control. I know you say, whoa, 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 yes indeed.
This Easter, you'll find all you're looking for at Bunnings. What's more, we have the lowest prices every day on products like these. Plastic buckets, 87 cents each. Leaf and lawn rake, $2.38. 6 by 8 foot polytarp, $4. Light globes, 45 cents each. We're open all Easter weekend except Good Friday. And if you happen to find an identical product at a cheaper price elsewhere, we won't just match it, we'll beat it by 5%. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Barry, the shipment's arrived early.
How early?
Next Tuesday. We don't have the room.
We'll make room.
Goodyear Rugs have Easter only to clear thousands of quality rugs to make room for new shipments.
Thousands at half price. Stacks at 66% off. 300 at 81% off. Some even free.
Easter only. Goodyear Rugs must make room by Monday, so prices plummet. Save up to 81% off.
Want a computer for work or home? See, how about a new IBM 300MX with heaps of RAM, huge hard drive, and an inbuilt modem? CD, monitor, speakers, mouse mat, keyboard, and software coming out of our ears. Windows, Encarta, Golf, Works, and more. 20 hours internet access, and A4 scanner, Canon colour printer, and all for $2,099. Where? Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
You know, there's been a lot of wild claims about paint lately. But let me give you the drum. I paint for a living, and the one paint I rely on is Solver Maxi Wash. For an unbeatable interior finish, it wipes the rest away.
This sports report proudly brought to you by Solver Maxi Wash.
Welcome back, and in less than an hour, the Adelaide Crows will face Hawthorn at Waverley wearing their new red away jumper. It's been the first big change to a successful strip, and Stephen Trigg, can you make it a lucky jumper?
Oh, Bruce, we'd love to make it a lucky jumper. First time out, it would be a beauty if we could get across the line at Waverley, but the players haven't spoken too much about the Guernsey. I think they're just intent on winning the game and getting us on the scoreboard for 99.
Now, you have two big men out for the season with knee injuries. What are you going to do to stop Paul Salmon?
Perhaps a little dart. One of those pea-shooter darts might be the go, but he has played very well over the last, many years, of course, but last week was the driving force out of the middle of the ground in the area that we struggled in. So David Pittman and Lucas Herbert have a big job, and quite simply, look, we've had a good look at it, Bruce. We're going to be a little cleverer, hopefully, with what we do, but also a bit more intense in the middle of the ground. So David Pittman, as I say, a big job.
Now, Stephen, the Hawks are on a winning streak of 10 straight. Would you have preferred someone else this week?
Look, I don't think there's any easy games, are there, Bruce? You look down the program and you just don't find any that you say, well, there's one that we can mark down. So, no, I don't think so. 10 in a row is great for us because it means that if you win the game when perhaps the rest of the football world think that you're a little underdone and not quite ready, just makes it all the sweeter when you win.
Now, Stephen, two new faces, Darren Wintle and Brian Binky. Quickly tell us a bit about them.
Well, they both had very varied backgrounds. One was drafted, Brian, earlier in the 90s, and they both get a chance. In fact, Darryl Wintle spent some time playing amateur footy 2 or 3 years ago, so it's not a bad little rise to start him for him. So one will start on the field, one will start on the bench, and both have some pretty big butterflies floating around right now.
All right, Stephen, thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Bruce.
And in games played today, Geelong continues to confound the critics with a win over the Bulldogs in a thriller at Optus Oval. The lead changed hands continuously throughout the game, with Jason Mooney kicking 4 as the Cats got home by 21 points.
Showing off their new away strip, the Cats began the way they left off last week.
Ronnie Barnes, what a kick!
Nicky Winmar replied to a week of controversy. His 2 goals in the opening term, inspiring the Dogs to a narrow quarter-time lead.
Brad Johnson, 51 metres out, a long goal, wonderful goal.
There was no let-up in the second term. Nathan Brown dominant in front of goal.
He drives it low. Was it touched? No, it's a goal.
Late goals for the Cats, leaving them a point behind at the main break. The sides went goal for goal in the third quarter.
Goal number
number 7 by this young player.
Gary Ayres took his side to the fans and it had the desired effect. Hudson tried to keep the Dogs in touch.
Mighty kick by Hudson. He's kicked the air out of the ball.
But Cats recruit Scott Banford put the issue beyond doubt. Geelong home in a thriller.
Brisbane Lions and Fitzroy player.
Stephen Litherland, 7 Nightly News.
And no Tony Lockett for the Swans, and it hurt them against Richmond at the MCG. They led at half-time, but 4 goals from Matthew Richardson helped the Tigers to victory by 12 points.
They came from everywhere in the first quarter, but it was Richmond with more clout. Holland marked twice for goals, and Campbell slotted another. Paul Kelly was trying hard for Sydney, one of just 2 goals for the opening term.
Kelly stands and delivers.
O'Connor then limped off, but it inspired his teammates. Nix running into an open goal for full points.
This is a great kick by Nix, he's got it.
Daffy took the wind out of Schwass's sails with a solid blow, but not Carey, who dominated the aerial duels. When Goods bobbed up for 2 more, Sydney led by 12 points at half-time.
Kicks it, delivers.
It was goal for goal in the third. Broderick got Richmond moving early on, only to see Barry bob up with the quick reply.
Sensational from Barry.
He also dragged in a beauty moments later, but it was this goal to Richmond that had everybody confused. He did kick the footy. Paul Kelly didn't know and asked the umpires. The goal, though, stood. 2 more to Richardson in the final term kept the Tigers in front, Broderick kicking the sealer late in time on.
Locally, Sturt has opened its account for season 99. The Double Blues were 75-point winners over North Adelaide. The Panthers won at Elizabeth for the first time in 8 years, while the Eagles were never in trouble against West Adelaide after kicking 7-4 to 1 point in the first quarter. So Sturt's first win puts them third. The Magpies are top ahead of Glenelg, who had the bye, with the Centrals on the bottom. The Adelaide 36ers are just 1 win away from playing in back-to-back grand finals. They were too good for Wollongong in game 1 of their semi-final series, winning by 12 points.
The 36ers arrived home today needing just 1 more win against the Hawks to make it into the grand final series, and they're secure in the knowledge that Wollongong haven't won here since 1990.
We've had some good form coming in at the right end of the season, and yeah, starting to look really good. The team's working well together, and especially at the defensive end, we're starting to play really well.
The Sixers were caught early as Wollongong started hard and fast, but after that it was all Adelaide. Midway through the second quarter, the gap had blown out to 22 points, with Ma in particular in devastating form.
Yeah, not too bad. I was able to get on a little bit of a roll there, a bit of a hot streak, and then I had a bit of a quiet spell, but yeah, able to get over the line in the end, so it's good.
The Hawks got it back to 8 in the last quarter before Adelaide steadied again. Another performance like that next Saturday, and the Sixers will defend their title against either Melbourne or Victoria, who start their semi-final series tonight. Philip Martin, 7 Nightly News.
Shane Warne has been dropped for the deciding 4th test against the West Indies, which starts tonight. Colin Miller takes his place, while Adam Dale comes in for the injured Jason Gillespie. South Australia's Greg Blewett replaced Matthew Elliott, who's been left out, but Ian Healy keeps his place. And it's 1-1 in the Davis Cup between Australia and Zimbabwe after the opening singles. Mark Philippoussis lost to Byron Black in 5 sets, while Pat Rafter levelled the tie with a 4-sets win over Wayne Black.
John Newcombe had the welcome mat out for Philippoussis, Byron ripping it from under him by taking the first set 6 games to 3. Shell-shocked, the Scud bombarded his opponent with aces.
Too good.
And he looked in command. With crisp volleys and good net play, he bounced back to a 2-1 lead.
Beautiful volleying from Mark.
The Zimbabwean, though, wasn't done. The Scud service percentage dropped, Black jumped all over second balls and took it to a 5th. After breaking in the 11th game, Black served it out. Zimbabwe going 1 up, and the crowd went wild. Pat Rafter then took on Wayne Black and was in command early, but also had to work hard for the points.
Oh, what a point from Rafter there.
The dual US Open champion displayed delightful racket skills to go to a 2-1 lead.
Oh, class shot from Rafter, wow.
It was wrapped up in 4. The Queenslander squaring the tie at 1 rubber apiece. The Woodies tonight taking on both Black brothers in the vital doubles.
I was just trying to work on my getting good rhythm on my first serve again. It came back, and I knew once I got that back, I was going to start getting on his serve sooner or later.
Peter Landy, 7 Nightly News.
Australia's Grant Hackett has set yet another world record, this time in the 400 metres freestyle at the Short Course Championships in Hong Kong.
It seems there's no stopping Australia's all-conquering swimming stars, Grant Hackett and Ian Thorpe. Last night they went head-to-head in the final of the men's 400 metres freestyle, both pushing each other to greater heights. But this was Hackett's turn to shine.
And Hackett does it again in 3:35.01. He has absolutely smashed the world record.
Hackett shattering Thorpe's world mark by an incredible 4.81 seconds, declaring soon after his own world record is under threat in the 1500 tomorrow night.
I feel fit. I feel as if I've got a lot of things to improve on, and I'll do that. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what I can do.
Michelle Kieran, 7 Nightly News.
And as we've seen, day one of the Oakbank Easter Carnival today with the featured event, the Von Duser Steeple. Let's pick up the closing stages.
The outside Gilligan end battling on Tom T. Hall, but it's Moonchase, no race. Moonchase wins by 15. Second, Century's Fox, the favourite home. The Punters Club had $6 grand on him too. Century's Fox second. Third placing, 4 or 5 away, Gilligan.
And that was a track record at Oakbank, 3 minutes, 42 seconds dead. At Randwick, a couple of feature events. The first, the $1.2 million AJC Derby for 3-year-olds.
Sky Heights repels the challenge. Great effort in front, and he leads all the way to win the Derby. Sky Heights by a length on the line to Arena. Photo third.
And later in the afternoon, another $1 million up for grabs in the Group 1 Doncaster Handicap.
Sunline in front, running on as least with Juggler, but she's everything we thought she was, Sunline. She's a champion filly. She goes home and wins the Doncaster. Second is Lease, third Juggler from Rusty.
And that is sport. We'll have the Crows and Hawthorn live from Waverley in just over half an hour. Hope you can join us. And Jack, I'm going home because after what Hawthorn did to Port Adelaide in the Ansett Cup, I'm happy the Crows belt them.
Well, they'd want to win because Blighty will rip their heads off, I reckon.
He went off about a 5 out of 10 last week, I reckon. He's got more to go.
There's more to go. Well, you couldn't ask for better Easter weather. Shirley tells us if it will last right after the break.
And Adelaide finds out who's best at blowing their own trumpet.
An encounter with some of nature's most fascinating creatures. Discover the secrets of dolphin dreaming on John Liddell's World Around Us, next on 7.
When you're not working, your money should be working even harder. Talk to us about a term deposit today. The Bank of South Australian. Are you seeing someone else?
Someone else? No.
I can tell.
How?
Your smile. Your teeth are whiter and less tartar.
It's this new toothpaste.
Colgate Sensation Whitening plus tartar control.
Used every day, Colgate's dual action removes stains to whiten teeth and helps protect against the build-up of tartar.
Will I see you again?
Sure, in 6 months.
Colgate Sensation Whitening plus tartar control. For whiter, healthier teeth, even your dentist will notice.
So I said, it's just not on. I mean, where does the guy get off?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think I can fit it in. Thanks. Mum, on your bedroom floor.
With new continental rice creations and your own fresh ingredients, you can make a fabulous risotto.
It's fantastic.
With continental rice creations, you're more than just a cook.
After just 3 or 4 drinks, you're likely to be over the limit. You may not even feel drunk. But the fact is, you're much more likely to have a crash.
Hello again. We had another superb day. It was certainly a lot better than the Easter break last year when over 40 millimetres of rainfall was recorded. Temperatures were a little higher than we forecast today, reaching 26.5 at 2:30 after dropping down to 9.5 at 6:30 this morning. Currently, it's 23 in the city. On our satellite picture tonight, there's still a large area of rain-bearing cloud over northern Queensland, which has produced quite a wet Easter in Cairns, Brisbane, Townsville and even Sydney. Well, as we fly in from the west, you can see very little to no cloud over our state, apart from some patchy cloud in the northeast, which will produce a few isolated thundery showers. Looking at our charts, there's a high pressure system directing an easterly airstream over our state today, and as it moved over to the Tasman Sea. Now tomorrow we are expecting some late showers over the eastern border districts, the Flinders Ranges and Mount Lofty Ranges, as a low pressure trough deepens, but it will move off to the east Monday for Oakbank. Around the country tomorrow, showers are forecast for Darwin, Cairns, Brisbane and Sydney, with fine and mild conditions expected elsewhere. Well, back in our state, lots of sunshine and blue skies today, apart from some cloudy conditions in the northeast. Temperatures were a few degrees warmer than forecast. They ranged from 16 degrees at Cape Willoughby up to 32 at Maree. Well, our forecast is for another fine, although partly cloudy day right across the state tomorrow, but there is the possibility of some late showers in the ranges. Well, it should be a mild to warm day elsewhere, with forecast temperatures ranging from 27 degrees at Woomera down to 20 at Kings Coast. On our local waters, winds shifting southeast to southerly and reaching 15 to 20 knots, with seas rising to 1.5 metres later in the day. In the city, fine but partly cloudy. Our top will reach 25 degrees after a warmer overnight low of 14. Looking ahead, a change expected late on Monday, which will bring cooler conditions on Tuesday and Wednesday. And looking at our 7-day outlook, fine and mild conditions, and they should continue through to next week, warming up to 22 degrees by next Saturday. Well, I hope Easter Bunny brings you lots of Easter eggs, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thanks, Adelaide. Just before we go, there's no excuse to be brassed off this weekend with some of Australia's finest bands in town. Put on your marching shoes because the Battle of the Brass is underway with more than 30 bands competing in the National Championships. The weekend finishes up with the gala concert at the Westminster School tomorrow night.
Time for us to go, but we'll be back at an earlier time tomorrow.
Yeah, half time on the footy. See you then.
Good night.
Good night.